Hey, welcome back to Afterglow. This is going to be episode 123, and on this episode, we're going to be talking about a racing game, as I'm sure you can see in the title. That's a little unusual for me, though, because usually I don't do racing games, and when I do, it's usually not like a realistic one. I'm more into the F-Zeros and the Wipeouts and the Mario Karts, but this one, while I would hesitate to call it it's like uber realistic, it's more based in reality. So, like I said, this is going to be a rare one for me to cover, but this game did get its hooks in me back in the Xbox 360 generation, and I did want to revisit it today. So that's what myself and the main quest host, Keith Gasper, is going to be covering as soon as we do our intro. So real quick, let's give our patrons a shout out. A big shout out to the patrons who have decided to back us at the $1 tier to get a shout out in every episode. OCD in every RPG, and Tex and Toby with Big Red Flavor. These two patrons have been with me a while, and I just want to continually appreciate them for supporting this show. If you'd like to get that shout out, all you gotta do is go to Patreon. The link will be in the link tree in the show notes page below. And now, before we get to the main episode, everyone who listens to the show knows I like to do music before we get into the main conversation, and music after the main conversation as well, because music is a very, very important part of any video game. Here's the thing. This game has a mountain of licensed music, and me and Keith are going to discuss this a bit further into the episode, but obviously I can't come in here with us jamming out to some Disturbed or some Static X, because people get angry, people kind of want their money cut. So unfortunately, the music for this episode is ripped from some of the original work done for the game. Nothing really wrong with that. It's a little bit outside of the spirit of the game, but it works. I'll also be throwing in a commercial for the game as well. So we're going to be getting into all that after, that caveat right now. Welcome back, and we're going with almost a little newer for this show. After 2005, which is crazy to talk about 2005 being over 20 years ago still. So I would count it as retro. I am joined by Keith from Main Quest. Keith, would you call this retro at this point?
I think so, yes. I mean, it's literally at the 20-year mark by the time this comes out. So, and I think usually a lot of people go by 10. I think that's usually the standard for people, which I think is ridiculous because there's no way the Switch would be retro pretty soon. Like that's insane. It
Yeah,
doesn't
I
make any
mean,
sense.
that does feel weird, especially since you can still go in there and buy like a new Switch and games for it.
Yeah, man. So no, yeah, this is very retro by those standards. For me personally, like I do like 15 years. I feel like that's like a nice happy medium there. So but yeah, so this would make the mark. And you just mentioned that this is kind of like a newer game for you and your show. I don't think I've actually covered too many games of this era, so this is like exciting for me.
There's another show I listen to, Retro Gaming Roundup, and I guess they have a thing where they talk about the feel of a game is what they consider retro, and they skew a bit older even than I do, but they will consider like the N64 is retro, but maybe not the PlayStation, just because the CD feels newer than the N64 cartridge, which is a weird way of thinking about it, considering the fact they were like the same era.
So is the Sega CD not retro because that came out before the N64?
Right, right.
What about the
Cool. What about the
what is it?
TurboGrafx CD?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of the name. I was like, was it TurboGrafx CD? I think it was
Hmm.
called something else. But yeah, same idea. Um yeah, interesting.
They're starting to come along a little bit. They do consider the 360 is definitely too new to cover, which I get a kick out of. Cause I'm here like, man, 360 was, a while back.
Hmm.
Which
Yeah, because we think
360
of
is where I played this game originally as a kid.
yeah, so I played this on the PS2. Played it on my PS2, my modded fat PS2. And
Now, I did play the PS2 version while preparing for this review because it's a lot easier to emulate. And then I switched over eventually and played the PC version with mods because the PS2 was not how I remembered the game looking.
yeah, I don't have any prior experience with this game until you asked me if I would play it for the show. Um, and yeah, so okay, so I'm on my PS2, and it does have a like built-in upscaler basically, and most games look actually pretty decent on a modern display. I don't know what is going on with this game in particular, but everything like all of the actors look like they're like smeared in Vaseline, and
Yeah,
like there's
it's
this.
not just the actors too. Like even in game, they're using some kind of a blurring effect or something. It it's only
I feel like
the PS2 version.
yeah, and then I looked at some of the. I think you sent me some screenshots of what you were playing, and it looked much better than what I had to suffer through for like I don't know the 6 or 7 hours I was playing this. Um,
He said the thing 6-7.
oh God damn, that's like the second time this week that somebody got me with that.
He said the thing.
uh,
But I
is that
had some really good memories whenever I had this on the 360, and the more I played it, this go around, the best way I can describe this game. I don't know what you would think. You ever have that thing whenever a commercial comes on and they say, now for a limited time? I feel like this game was fun for a limited time. It's really, really entertaining until it's not. What do you think?
so? Um, I guess a little history with me in the Need for Speed franchise, which is very quick. Um, I played the first Hot Pursuit game in 97 or 98. Um, had that for the PlayStation, loved it, and then never played another Need for Speed game until today. So, um, I mean, I love racing games. I don't know what it was about Need for Speed in particular that just never interested me or caught my attention. I just kind of I wasn't avoiding it. I just it never looked like anything I guess I really wanted to play. And so playing this, gosh, I mean this entire game is a time capsule. Like from the cutscenes, the really bad, like almost pornographic dialogue to, and I don't mean pornographic dialogue as in like they're talking about,
The
why can't I
quality of
think of,
acting would be
yes, thank you.
along the levels of yeah.
And then the soundtrack, man, holy shit. Yeah, everything about this is like a time capsule. So it's very hard for me to look at the franchise now and be like, yeah, I'm totally into this now. Um, because I don't think I would be. Uh, and maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like the attitude of Most Wanted maybe permeates throughout the rest of the Need for Speed franchise. Um, and
I
oh,
will say
so I
I
played.
love the cutscenes just because it reminds me of playing
Oh
Knights
God,
from Outer Space.
we have to spend like at least an hour talking about these cutscenes. Because holy shit, holy shit, they
I
are,
mean,
first of all,
imagine
oh,
Fast and
they're
Furious, but cranked up to 11.
oh no, I think it's Fast and Furious, but like they can't even crank that dial, man. They're trying so hard to crank that dial. Can't. It's so, first of all, they're awesome. They are awesome. They are also incredibly hideous. They're so bad. Hold on, before let me rewind. Let me get back to my thought about the franchise and like what I just kind of think of it as a whole. Because I did play those, so I covered Hot Pursuit uh for my show. Somebody requested that I cover it, and so I got to cover it like you. Um, and I saw that they remade the game, and then they made a remaster of the remake. And so I played the remaster of the remake, which I think came out in like 2021 or something. Um, and that is like not this. It's not Hot Pursuit either, by the way. It's very different from that original game. Um, so yeah,
They
I
did
kind of
that
and
with
I
this game too. There's another game called Need for Speed Most Wanted that they did in 2012, and it's not
mhm.
this game. It has nothing to do with this game.
Well, they basically have like rebooted or remade most of the games because I know there's another game that is just called Need for Speed, and I think that came out in like 2017 or something like that.
As
Um,
someone who casually plays C's every once in a while, it got real confusing for me.
well, yeah, because they have like their own like sub franchises in the franchise. Like there's the Hot Pursuit franchise, um, and then there's the uh, what's the other one? Underground. There's the Underground franchise, and I think there's like two Need for Speed Carbon games, if I remember right. Um, and then they have sequels and remakes and stuff. It gets EA is a mess. Who would have thought? Um, so
Yeah, I
yeah,
actually paid money for Most Wanted on Steam, thinking, oh, it's a remake of the one I really liked whenever I was a kid, only to find no, it's a completely different game.
yeah, it's tough to say like it's a remake. It yeah, they're closer to reboots. If I was gonna point it out, but yeah. So um, I not giving my complete thoughts away. I can see why Most Wanted is one of the more popular entries in the franchise. I could see why people, um, I guess, more or less would want it remade um, more closely to what this resembles instead of what they got.
Yeah, this one I felt is very storyline driven, but the gameplay mechanics, at least whenever you first start out, they do hook you. I have my issues with it, well, which I'll go into a bit later, but
Mhm.
like just starting out and getting into it, the game does hook you if you have any kind of inclination to get into a racing game.
Which is funny because, like, I never, as somebody who likes racing games and grew up playing them. Oops, I just hit my mic. Let me restart that. As somebody who grew up playing racing games and likes racing games, I've never needed a plot in my racing game. I mean, it helps, I guess, if it's there. The plot in this game, as I was playing it, I completely forgot like what happened, and I even took like, I don't know, a 2 week break from playing it and then came back to it. And you can just pick up where you left off, jump back in, and you don't need any context for what's happening. Like I had completely forgotten that your car gets stolen at the beginning of the game. Or it doesn't well, yeah, it's basically stolen.
Yeah,
It's like I could
it's more or less
completely
stolen.
forgot. Because then you think about it, right? So you're going down this list of racers, climbing to the top of the list to get to the main guy who stole your car. And it's like, why? I don't even want the car anymore. I've been beating all these people with the cars that I have. Why the hell? Why is it this car? Like, who cares? Take it.
I mean, it started like that for me, but I struggled whenever I got further into the game. Like, and it could be I'm not good at this style of racing game because usually whenever I play a racing game, I prefer the non-realistic stuff. Like, I prefer the F Zeros, the Mario Karts, the
Hmm.
Wipeouts,
Hmm.
and this is I wouldn't I'd hesitate to call it realistic, but it's more
Right.
based in reality than those games.
Um. Yes. Yes. It's somewhere between like the racing sims of like Gran Turismo, but not as deep as that. But then also as arcadey as something like the Forza Horizon games, but not as um, floaty and like flippant about the way the cars control. And I don't think it necessarily does either one of those things fantastic. Um, because there is a fair amount of customization. But when it comes down to it, personally, I didn't change the appearance of my car because none of it seemed to actually matter as far as how the car controls. So the only things I would ever really upgrade are, my brakes and the steering and the frame and things like that that would actually, matter. Which, by the way, I have a question for you. What car did you end up going with?
Uh, you know what? I'd have to go back and look. I'm not a car guy for the most part.
Okay.
So a lot of times I would like take the win the car that the blacklist guy was using and just try to upgrade it. And then whenever I got a new blacklist car, which that we might have to explain the mechanic of how to get those later, I would switch over to it and try just to fully upgrade it. So I was constantly changing my vehicles, but as far as the types, I don't know. Like for a while, I was using the car of the guy that had like the Chinese lettering on the side of it whenever you first won it,
Hmm.
and I probably used that one until Blacklist 12, maybe, before I was required to get something else because it even fully upgraded, it just wouldn't cut it.
I uh, I thought it was hilarious that for whatever reason you could get a Chevy Cobalt in this game. I had a friend who had a Chevy Cobalt in 2005. So when this game was released, and it was like the shittiest car I've ever been in. So I just thought it was hilarious if I would just drive a Chevy Cobalt in this game. So I did. And not only like does the appearance of the car not actually matter, um, but I also thought it would be hilarious to just soup up this regular ass Chevy Cobalt and
Give it like the high end paint job with like the custom rims and all the
not even
decals on it.
not even just the stock. I didn't change it. I just kept it the stock ass white Chevy Cobalt that it gives you at the beginning of the game, but like just upgrade like, you know, the stuff under the hood, you know. Um
Ah,
just kind of make a kind of a sleeper car, you know. Um because yeah, then I'm just driving just like running from the police and like chasing chasing or racing against like razors. Well, I didn't get that far into the game, but it's the who did I leave off at? I think her name was Jewel. I think she had like a souped up Mustang or something like that. And there's just like this regular ass unassuming Chevy Cobalt. It's just it was funny to me. I don't know. So but that's what I went with. But yeah, as far as the car handling goes, I'm kind of surprised at how well it actually how well they actually those mechanics held up. Um, although at times it like there's a heaviness to the cars that
like
doesn't feel right for a game that should play closer to an arcade game.
the way I played it, I'm sure is wrong. There's like a bullet time button to where you can slow down the game into like a bullet time. And a lot of times going into a turn, I would hit that to take the turn. Then I would hit again to go out of bullet time and immediately hit my NOS in order to straighten the car out.
See, that's interesting because I very rarely use that bullet time thing. Um, honestly, I kind of forgot it was there, and I played it. I jumped into the game again yesterday to kind of refresh myself, and I used it yesterday quite a lot because I was like, all right, I never really messed with this. They don't really seem to. The game doesn't really actually like acknowledge that it's there. Um, at least they've never. I don't think I came across anything where it was just like, hey, use this to score extra points in your pursuits or whatever, you know. Um, I didn't see any of that, so I just kind of forgot that it was there, and I never really used it. Um, refreshing myself for the podcast. So
And going back to your question, I did look up the car I was using. I started out with the Volkswagen Golf GTI. I think I might have gotten it just
okay.
because I find the fact of a vehicle called the Golf funny. And switched over to the Pontiac at one point.
Mhm. Yes,
And
because they do tell you need to change cars or get more cars at some point.
yep. And then towards where I stopped playing, I was driving a Lamborghini Gallardo.
Uh, so since I kind of just mentioned it, how often did you change your cars? Like, how often did you switch between them? Because the game has like this hidden system where if you race too much with one car, the cops are going to be basically looking for it, and you're going to get into more pursuits
I
more
would usually
often.
switch out every like third blacklist.
See, I like this is like one of the systems in the game where I'm just kind of like, why? Like, I understand why it's in there, but if you're good enough at the game, like, it almost doesn't matter because I think of what my second car was. I don't think
Now,
it
I
was.
didn't
I don't.
switch out for the heat from the cops. I switched out just for the car stats because eventually, even
Mm,
fully upgraded, you've got a ceiling in each car that you hit.
mhm. Right. Um, I So I didn't change. I was using the Cobalt up until that my last Blacklist uh, fighter. I almost said fighter racer. My last Blacklist
I mean, with a
racer.
name like Razor, they could be fighters.
Um, so and maybe that has to do with some of the horrible rubber banding that was happening because this game has some really bad rubber banding. Even like prior to, like even on like the second Blacklist racer, like it's pretty bad. You make one or two mistakes, and they're flying past you pretty easily, no matter how much room you have between you guys.
Yeah, and in my experience, once they blew past you, if they got any amount past you, it was extremely hard to catch back up.
I mean, it's a pretty forgiving system. Like you can um, quit out of the race and restart it again if you want to. Um, which,
Well,
like,
that's where the
why
frustration
wouldn't you?
actually started for me because I would restart the same race, 5, 10 times. This
See, I
could
didn't
be
have
skill issue
to.
on my part too, though.
Yeah, I didn't have too many issues with that. Towards the end, I want to say maybe like once I got down to the 11th and the 10th blacklist member, that's kind of when I started noticing like, oh, I got to restart this. Oh, I got to restart this. Um, Especially because like, dude, so this is my primary issue with the game is it is just padded to hell and back, man. I mean, it is just in order to get to the race that you want to do, you have to complete five or six other races, and it gets worse the further down the list that you get.
And
Um,
I also think that even from a story point, it got kind of weird with that kind of stuff because it's like, oh, you're racing for slips, but there's three different races to this boss race that you got going on. I'm like, how's this work? If I lose one, I lose my car.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like once it got to the point where you get to the black, like you finally get to the blacklist racer that you want to race, and then like at first it's just like, oh, you have to do this one race, right, around the map. Great, fine. But then once you get to like, I don't know where it starts, maybe the 10th or the ninth one, and it's like, okay, now I have to do two races. Oh, now eventually you got to do like three. And so when I did want to play for a couple more hours yesterday, but when I realized that I had to do like four regular races, seven cop races, and like some other, I don't know, random whatever, whatever other random requirement that I had to do, I was like, you know what, I'm going to play like three or four of these, and then I think I'm going to be out because I can't sit here and do an entire list to get to the like. It's just you're just checking off things in this game to get to the
Mm-hmm.
race that you want to actually get to.
And because my skill level wasn't so hot with this game, I would have to redo races continually just to get money. That way I could upgrade my car in order to be able to compete with the people on the blacklist because I couldn't do it with the cars that stock when they first got them. There was no way. But again, this could easily be skill level.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just like this blue balling of like systems that you have to like go through in order to actually be relatively competitive in the game. Otherwise, it's gonna eat you alive. Um, not to humble brag or anything like that, but like I play a lot of racing games, so I didn't have that much difficulty. But like at some point, it's like I don't want to do this anymore. Like let me just race like I just want to race the person. I don't want to have to
It,
go through all this other bullshit. And like on the surface, like some of those races are fun, like the drag races, those are fun. The toll booth races, those are fun. Like all of that stuff is fun. But I don't want to like I just if I just want to race the person, I don't want to have to do like I don't want to have to do that stuff all the time. And they force you to do it.
it's funny because I remember loving this game whenever I got in 360. I didn't have many 360 games whenever I first got the console. I think I had like this one, Oblivion, Perfect Dark. That might be like the main three games I started with on the 360. But and again, it is enjoyable, but I go back to the whole for a limited time thing because I eventually hit that wall. I'm just like, this feels like work. I must stop playing.
Yeah, and I think maybe that's also like, this was a situation where I was playing this for your podcast, and so I was basically binging it, which is probably a bad thing to do. This is
hmm
definitely, I think, a game that you come to throughout like a year or two, and you just kind of hack away at it. But even then, uh, like I said, I took like a 2-week break, and coming back to it yesterday, I did 3 or 4 races, which like didn't even get me to the blacklist driver, and so I made no progress in like the hour and a half that I had been playing. So it's like I'm like, okay, well, I guess I didn't really do anything. I didn't get to see any more cheesy cutscenes with Josie Marin or whatever her name is. So like,
Insert eye candy name here.
uh, to be fair, she didn't do anything after this game, so I think this killed her career. Whatever she went on to do, I don't know. But
Now, is she the one that has the little public service announcement at the beginning of the game?
don't forget to wear your seatbelts.
Right? Hey, we know this game's all about street racing, but keep it in the video game. Don't do it in real life.
Right?
Now let's spend the entire rest of the time glorifying the street racing culture.
Now I'm gonna cycle through the 3 tube tops that I have in this game. Dude, speaking of, okay, so talking about the cutscenes real quick and these actors. First of all, I'm pretty sure they're all Canadian. Whoever this dude is playing Razor, and I am like sitting here listening to his voice, and what is this accent that he has? It's like it does sound like, almost like Massachusetts, Connecticut area, but it could also be like deep Alberta, Canada. And
Well,
he's whispering the entire game. He's like, what
Razor
is
is
this? What are
actually
you doing?
one of the guys that I did find later on YouTube. I guess there's a thing where I don't know whether they had some big celebration, but there's some clips of a significantly older, grayer Razor in the same car in the BMW that's on the cover of this game, doing some more like audio clips
In the remake?
from it's videos on YouTube. I guess there's some convention or something celebrating this game, but it's got
Oh,
the actor that played Razor, and he is now Old Man Razor, still built, still big, strong, muscly dude that could probably beat the hell out of me. He's
I was
in the
gonna say, I mean,
BMW.
in 2005, he did not look big or muscly. But maybe he's
He
bigger
looked,
now. I don't know.
yeah, he's put on a little bit of weight,
Okay. Yeah, this
but
dude looks like he
it's
would.
muscle mass is what he's put on.
Yeah, this dude looks like he works at a Meineke in the Most Wanted game.
I was gonna say I'm a big guy too, but I'm more blubbery than muscle, so
But there's like, first of all, there's muscles under there. Second of all, um, so there's like these investigators, these detectives that are like trying to track down the blacklist, right?
hmm
And they at one point they confront you. I have the cutscenes on in the background here as I'm watching them. And there's like the black detective, and then he's with like this woman. And in all of the cutscenes, like I'm looking at this right now, this woman is like wearing a bikini top with like a jacket over it, but she's got like biker gloves on and like a gun in her holster. So I'm like, what kind of
Yeah,
detective
that's
are you?
police attire. That's very police
Meanwhile,
attire.
meanwhile, he's got like the suspender gun holsters, like the plain white T-shirt. Like he looks like a stereotypical like detective. And then like I don't know, like 5 minutes later, there's another cutscene where they both show up, and he's wearing like a leather jacket, but then she's wearing like this weird like cross top where it's only holding her titties, and like just pure her stomach's out and everything, like low rise jeans, 2005 attire. Um,
Well, I do have a horrible theory that'll get me canceled here, but
uh-oh.
they do a lot of stuff that your normal police officers would not be able to legally get away with. But I'm also going to follow that up with a lot of the racers that you compete with in this game are possibly foreign and not like American. There's a lot of them that have like a Japanese look. There's some of them that are Canadian. I'm gonna go with these are not proper police. They're actually ICE agents.
I just sent you something in chat. I don't
Oh
know
no!
what I don't know what she's wearing. That's not a top. What is that?
Going in the chat real quick. Yeah, yeah, that is a
It looks like she's
the
wearing a gum wrap.
it's almost like you rip the sleeve off of t-shirt and decide to use it as the tube top.
Yeah, yeah. It's a sleeve, yes.
But yeah, these officers do a lot of stuff that your normal police definitely wouldn't get away with. The game opens with them like keying your vehicle.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I had just passed that part of the cutscene, yeah. Um, which I don't remember happening when I was playing. I don't know. I think I skipped some of the cutscenes. I was just like, yeah, I don't care about any of
That's easy to
this.
do. Couldn't it's they all have like a Vaseline covered tendency to them, and it's the actors in front of a green screen for the most part, and they
Okay,
also do
yes,
some very weird camera stuff.
I know. So I remember texting you and being like, "Is this a green screen or like why do the actors look so weird but the backgrounds because like the fidelity like I said there's like a smeariness, like a Vaseline look to the actors. They're real
Mm-hmm.
actors. Just so everybody knows, these are real actors, but there's like the fidelity and like the image quality of them is so low, and they all like the studio lights are like right on top of them. Like they have like this blue, like they all have like a bloom to them. Like they're literally like glowing. And so they kind of match the background to some extent because they look just as cartoony as the background. So I was like, is this some sort of like weird animation style? Like, because at first I was like, this is kind of cool. But then when I realized it was just real actors on a green screen of the actual like game environments, I was like, oh no. Oh, that kind of sucks.
Yeah, it looks like they recorded all these scenes using a 2005 cell phone camera, possibly inside a Walmart because they got that even overhead lighting.
Mhm. No, it's not even overhead. I mean, this is. I mean, I'm watching this. So the character's name in the game is named Mia, and it's like
That's
right after
that's
you get your car
that's a
stolen.
fitting name. She does look like a porn actress.
It's so like it's just the lighting is just so hot to use a filming but like a photography term here. Like the light is hot because it's literally like right on top of them. And I'm like looking at this cutscene. It's just like, did nobody be like, hey, pull back a little bit? Like,
Well,
or
even the filming technique kind of threw me off too. Like a lot of the video clips will be from the perspective of you looking out your car window, but then it'll cut to something completely different for like, half a second or so. They'll cut back. I don't know if you
Mhm.
caught that or not.
I did notice, only because I'm watching it right now. Mia holds up this very 2005 cell phone and explains to you like basically the wanted system.
Hmm.
So like she's holding up this cell phone and it zooms into the cell phone and goes into like this JPEG of explaining the wanted system, and then when it zooms back out, she's holding the cell phone the wrong way. It's like
Uh,
nobody caught that. I guess not, but I don't know. That's anyway. The cutscenes are like they're really good. I mean, it sounds like we're talking shit, but dear listener, if you are listening to this, you've never seen this before. Um, there's, they have it all on YouTube, so you can go like most of it is also intersected with some of the actual gameplay. So there's really only about like I would say maybe 15 minutes of cutscene because um, at some point, and I even noticed it while I was playing the game, I I just wasn't seeing a lot of cutscenes anymore. So I don't know how much more there is to go, like the last half of the game, but um, tons of dialogue.
I will
So
say I couldn't beat the game, so I watched the ending on YouTube, and I wouldn't have beat the game because that last mission's like ridiculous.
I didn't even get that far. There
Yeah,
is a
the
ton of
very last mission has you like on a cop escape, and it lasts for like 15-20 minutes. And you're like, Jesus Christ.
I mean, some of the chase, like the I can't talk today. Some of the what man? Why am I having a brain fart? The cop stuff, the chases, some of that stuff is kind of cool. It is kind of what I was familiar with from Hot Pursuit, which introduced the police in the franchise, and uh,
It was very
yeah, it
action
felt
movie feeling.
yeah, and it felt like dynamic enough where it didn't feel like you knew exactly when they were going to show up, where they were going to show up. Um, so it was really cool that they were able to pull that off in the game. Like the AI felt, it didn't feel scripted, you know, which is
The
a
only
big
issue I
bonus.
had, which is, it's not a big issue, it's a 2005 video game, but the Pursuit Breakers. Man, these people that are building these gas stations and donut restaurants, they are on it because they can rebuild pretty quick.
But I also think that's like um very of its era too, because Burnout, I think the first Burnout game was out by this time. I'm gonna have to double check that now.
It could have very well been. The only
Yeah,
Burnout game I've played, honestly, was Paradise.
it was 2002. So, yeah, the Burnout games are like kind of known for that kind of stuff. So I think implementing it into Need for Speed, especially when you have the police chases, is pretty cool, and I definitely appreciated that because I was like, as I was being pursued and kind of driving around, I'm like, wait, can I knock this gas station roof over or whatever? And sure enough, it let me do it, and I'm like, that's cool. And then you sneak down an alleyway and get the cops off of your ass. So I thought
Yep,
that
you
was
can
cool.
knock down, like, I know the big three for me were the gas stations, the donut restaurant, and the water towers were what I would use as my
Mm.
big pursuit breakers to try to get out.
I loved driving around the docks, like the dock area. Um, there's a pursuit breaker there. I don't remember which one it was off the top of my head. Um, but every time I got into a police chase, I would kind of hang around the docks and mess with them over there.
Yeah, I did have a lot of fun in the open world aspect of this game too.
Mm. I mean,
Just
yeah.
being able to cruise the city.
So yeah, I mean that wasn't really my thing, I guess. I didn't do a lot of just roaming around and checking stuff out, only because
See,
that's not what I play a Need for Speed game for. Again, like I said, I'm an I'm an old man. I came into the series with Hot Pursuit, which is just strictly a racing game.
I used it as a cheat just to be able to find like the shortcuts for whenever I'm actually in the races.
Oh, see, yeah, I would just kind of make things up as I go along. You know, uh, I didn't really need to know, I guess, the layout of the city that well. Um, After a while, as you play the game, you just kind of figure out where things are. Um, just from having to play like all of these races so many fucking times.
Right.
But um, yeah, I didn't feel like I had to roam around the city that much, and that's not what I was coming. Like I just wanted to do the races, and fortunately, you can do that. And I was gonna talk about this right after we were talking about the cutscenes and stuff, but there's a lot of dialogue in this game. Um, Brought to you by Singular Wireless, by the way. If you've never thought about them in the past 25 years, there you go. Um,
Which it was weird that a lot of the phones in this game had like a black and yellow color scheme for the screens. It is 2005. We did have full color screen phones by this point.
sure did. Yeah. Um, so like a lot of the story stuff that you would get like through texts and voice messages and all that, I I skipped it all the time. 100% I'm skipping it. Like I don't care. I don't care about the story. Just give me the fast cars. Like that's all I cared about. And so roaming the world and like kind of getting it, that's cool that it's there. And I'm sure that's for somebody. I didn't particularly need it. Um, but I think it's very interesting how going from Hot Pursuit, which is a very simple, arcadey racing game, and then coming to this, for me was interesting. It was interesting. Even the Hot Pursuit remake is nothing like this. It's a lot more granular, a lot more straightforward. Um,
Yeah. See, for
but
me, it
you have the
helps just to learn the map and to learn where the shortcuts are. But again, I'm not a huge racing guy either. I kind of
Mhm.
cherry pick my racing games, so that could be a big part of it.
I think that's the problem with the Horizon series in that I I like those games, but since it's such a massive open world, I kind of just get bored of them. I get bored of having to drive from checkpoint marker to checkpoint marker to get to a race. Um, and I think this game is great because you don't have to do that. You can just open up the menu, pick a race, and go do it. Uh, and so that I'm happy about that. I'm happy I didn't have to roam around the open world because I would have burned out faster on this game than I did just by virtue of how the gameplay progression is set up. Which,
I did like the choice of you being able to go back to your safe house and just go through a list, or you can click a spot on the open world map and drive to it and start the race that way.
Mhm.
I did feel it was a nice touch to have more than one option.
Yeah, for sure. And going back to the progression of the game and how you have to basically unlock races to do the race you want to do. There are like two or three other modes in this game. Did you mess with any of those, or were you just strictly doing the career mode?
I did dabble a bit with like the what was it called? Instant race, I think. It was more or less pick a car, it would drop you in a race.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I played with that a little bit. Went back more into story modes just to get more of the cutscenes. But yeah, I did dabble with instant race a little bit, and it was nice being able to try some of the higher end cars without having to unlock them.
See, obviously I didn't play this multiplayer. Um, but yeah, there's the quick race and the challenge series, which is like I would have dabbled in the challenge series a lot more had that counted towards progression in career mode. And I think that is probably the missed opportunity here um because then
Yeah,
if I
that
was
would
getting
have
burned out
been
on
a
doing,
help.
my third toll booth race that the game is forcing me to do, maybe I can pop into the challenge series, do something there, and then hopefully it counts towards whatever your progression is on the current blacklist, so you can get to the race a lot faster, instead of again just repeating certain races ad nauseum. That would have been great,
Right.
and I
Like
think that
at a
would have
bare
probably
minimum, add the money that you get from winning that race to your money in the main game.
right, right, but it doesn't, and that sucks. And I think that probably could have fixed a lot of the monotony that I was feeling, you know, 6-7 hours in.
Yep, he said the thing. Speaking of something that's definitely locked in a time, like the whole 6-7 thing, what did you think of the soundtrack?
Man, I hated this fucking soundtrack. dude,
I am
dude,
rock.
this this soundtrack, like it's funny. It's funny that there are advertisements for Axe body spray because this soundtrack sounds how Axe body spray smells. like
It
this is,
is, to me at least, a weird mix of rap and rock.
like
Like,
when I first turned on the game a couple months back when we first started talking about this game, and like I like whatever, like it was just like some generic, I don't know, hip hop song. I don't know who it was, but I was like, yeah, okay, this kind of sounds like something that would play at a Need for Speed game. And then I've like popped into the options because, every new game that I play, like I always check out the options, and it has an option to actually just listen to the soundtrack, which I was like, oh, that's really cool. Like a lot of games don't do that. And so I was going down the list and I'm like, oh man, they've got some names on here. They like Avenged Sevenfold, Disturbed. There's like some weird mashup with like Chuck D and Dave Lombardo or something. And I was like, that's interesting. And then I listened to the songs and I'm like, I want to die. like, I don't
yeah,
like any of this.
yeah, some of the picks were interesting for sure. And then to me, the artists, they didn't mix well. Like, you would go from Static X to Juvenile, and you're like, what?
right. Yeah. That's the other thing too. It's just like, I don't, so like, uh, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit had, and I think again, maybe it's another time capsule type of thing, but like it was almost like a very like European techno sound to it, which
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with. You know, uh, it didn't have to be like these big, known bands or anything like that. And so when you're putting in like Lupe Fiasco, into a game, it's just like you're automatically dating it. And that's the problem I have like with a lot of like soundtracks like these, like the Tony Hawk soundtracks, which I know I'll get a lot of shit for. Um, but like nothing will make me want to go back and listen to fucking Prime. If I have to hear Jerry Was a Race Car Driver one more time, I'm gonna shoot myself in the fucking head. Like I don't want to hear that song ever again. You know?
I do
Um,
think that like they targeted big artists of the time, but then for some reason they cherry picked some of the weirdest picks. Like, you're gonna get Avenged Sevenfold, but you're not gonna throw City of Evil on. You're throwing in Blinded in Chains instead. It's like, why would you pick that?
it's like the two songs that I do like on the soundtrack. They have um a Prodigy song, "You'll Be Under My Wheels,"
Mm-hmm.
and uh Mastodon. But like you go from the Prodigy right into fucking Bullet for My Valentine. And it's like, I these things don't. Also, like, I don't know who the fuck Cell Dweller is, but I don't know why they have 6 of his songs on here. Like,
Well, I looked up a few of them just because I didn't know who they were, and then it's like they're known for the soundtrack and nothing else. It's like, oh, okay.
maybe that's what they're yeah, maybe that's what Cell Dweller is, but it kept popping up on the game because as you know, as you play the game, in the corner it'll tell you what song is playing.
Hmm.
And I feel like I saw Cell Dweller way too many times, and it was pissing me off.
See, I had the issue with Rock. It wanted to play that song repeatedly for me for some reason. So I'm here like, who is this guy? And I look him up. It's like, that's all he did. Okay.
And the game does have like an original score to it.
Yes, which if you're listening
Which
for the intro and outro track, those will be the tracks that I'm using for intro and outro music for this show because I might be in a little bit of trouble if I'm loading up some Skinny Man for the intro.
yeah, yeah, probably. um, yeah, so like, and the original score is like it's fine, like it's not bad. I did like when I was getting chased by the cops, I was kind of getting sick of that song because it's the only song that plays while you're getting chased by the cops.
Dun it, dun it,
So
dun, 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 dun
yeah,
it. It has a very male feel, which don't feel right in this game at all.
okay, so
Well,
I pulled
that was
up
the vibe I was getting.
the soundtrack list. The only band that this is missing is Drowning Pool. I'm kind of surprised there's no bodies in here.
Well, again, that's the thing. If they would have picked a Drowning Pool song, they probably would not have pulled Bodies because they're not pulling like the big songs that they're known for at the time.
What are you talking
They're
about, dude? They totally would have pulled Bodies.
no,
That's
I
like
think that they
the
would have pulled
Drowning
some
Pool
other
song.
random Drowning Pool. Yeah, okay. What's the Drowning? What's the Disturbed song? Whenever you think Disturbed, so I guarantee it's not Decadence.
True, true. I mean, I only know like one Disturbed song, so that's
Was
not
it
even fair, I
Decadence? Because I
guess.
don't think it was.
No, definitely not. I never heard. You could have made that song title up, and I would have been like, "Yeah, sure. I guess that's a Disturbed song."
Yeah, it's like if you're pulling Disturbed, why are you not pulling? Of course, everyone knows their big one, but I'm gonna go with something different. Why would you not pull something like Into the
Dropping
Fire or
plates.
something?
Oh,
Yeah, that one.
I was,
Avenged Sevenfold. Why would you not choose City of Evil?
it's funny because I was just talking to friends of the show, uh, Toby Von Doom and Phil from Deleted Saves, and we were talking about Avenged Sevenfold recently. I fucking hate Avenged Sevenfold
I find their first album listenable, and then after that, they dropped off.
because I had to like just randomly. I was listening to a random playlist, and Spotify just wanted to feed me Avenged Sevenfold for some reason. I've never listened to Avenged Sevenfold. And so I was just like, am I the only person who doesn't like Avenged Sevenfold? And apparently, yes, that is true.
Uh,
I'm the
I
only
pick and
person.
choose. I'm heavy on their first album, and then there's a few tracks from Nightmare I liked, but
Mm.
outside of that, the singer sounds too whiny for me.
Yeah, man. So yeah, this soundtrack, I mean, again, this entire thing is just so of its time that it's insane. Like you said, like you said it was Fast and Furious dialed up to 11 or whatever. I think it's trying so hard to be the Fast and Furious. It's it's not. It's very it's bad. It's great. It's perfect. You know what? I can't decide.
But that's why I think
It's
it's Fast and Furious dialed up to 11. It's cheesy schlock. That's what Fast and Furious is.
yeah, yeah, but they do it better. You know, at least some of those actors can, act.
Do they?
I don't know what
Do they?
I don't know what these dude, like none of the actors in this game have done anything after this. Um, except so the guy who plays Razor is Derek Hamilton. He's the only person that has done anything past 2008,
Mm-hmm.
which good for him. I'm glad somebody's giving him work. Uh, but like, yeah,
I mean,
there's
I
also
had
hold
gripes
on,
with this
hold
game
on.
as a kid too. Okay, go ahead.
The director of the cutscene is named his name is Dave Footman.
So he's the one we can blame.
Dave Foots. Listen, I'm not here to kink shame anybody, but
And we know Toby gets in the feet.
um, yeah, man, it's just these dear listener, go check out these cutscenes. Like they're phenomenal. they're so
Great
good.
B movie
There's
schlock. It's hilarious. And the soundtrack does fit, but if I have to hear "Do Ya Thing" one more time, oh god.
yeah, it's like one of those things like um because when I had when I had an Xbox and an Xbox 360, I loaded it up with music. Uh, because I didn't have like a regular stereo or anything like that. So when I was like throwing parties or whatever, I would turn on the 360 and play some music through my TV or whatever. And so this is like situations where like if I had this game for the 360 back in the day, I most definitely would have turned all of the music down and then just played whatever I had on my Xbox.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is like such a cool
Um,
feature. Like games. This is like I don't think consoles do that. Can can you still do that on a console? I know you can get Spotify on most of these
not
things,
that
but
I've seen. Like, I know it was a big deal on the original Xbox to rip your CDs and replace the soundtrack, but after that, it kind of just disappeared. Other than a few games that would give you a folder that you could drop your MP3s into if you wanted to change the music on your own, and that's like solely a PC thing.
mhm. So you like can't play Spotify in the background on like your PS5 and then go play um I don't know, Madden or something.
I know that I don't think that was a thing on the Series X when I had one.
Interesting. Yeah, it's so weird that you can't do that anymore.
One thing I want to get your opinion on, and this is a gripe I had with the game whenever I was a kid, is the
Mhm.
NOS system itself. I have a huge issue with NOS automatically recharging. What are your thoughts on that one? Like, good just as a basic gameplay mechanic, or it feels weird?
Um so games in which I have played that have a NOS system, you are usually rewarded with the NOS refilling the meter through either doing uh, certain tricks or getting up to a certain speed or trailing behind a car and like kind of riding their wake. Um, yeah, having this refill by itself like it's Halo is like um, it's fine. Um, it did help me because like when you crash in this game, you come to a full stop. Um, so it definitely helped me out when I was trying to get back up to speed again. So I would back up, turn around, and then immediately hit the NOS and and the gas at the same time. Again, doesn't really help when the AI rubber bands like a son of a bitch, but I'll take anything. So
See, it just
I
felt weird to me. I feel like if you're going to have NOS refills, it should have been like maybe a pickup.
yeah, but see, this game wants to have its foot in reality, right? So you just can't have like these random tanks laying around the city, right?
Well, if it's based in reality, you can't really have your NOS automatically regenerate. That's not something, it's a thing.
True, true. So in a game that's pretty tight for money and hard to collect money for upgrades, would you rather have to dip into the store after every race to refill it?
Well, you already have to dip into the store to buy it to begin with,
Right.
to
But
unlock it for that car.
Listen, we are talking about EA, so I feel like the NOS at this point would just kind of be what do you call it?
Oh
A
God!
microtransaction.
Swipe your card.
Yeah. You want more NOS? That's $5.99.
I could see the
Um,
EA of the time making a console that does have a credit card chip reader.
I mean, it would kind of make things easier, wouldn't it?
Oh,
We
it's a
complain
feature. You
about
don't
it,
have to
but
type in your card number. Just swipe it right on your system.
I think the next PlayStation controller is going to have a tap on it, so you can just tap your card right where the right where the touch interface used to be.
We've replaced the touchpad with a tap pad for your
Right.
convenience.
Uh-huh. Also, did you? I didn't notice this until last night. Um, which so first of all, well for the PS2, you have to press X for the gas, which is it's always very weird to play these old racers and gas isn't a trigger button. Very
Yeah,
strange.
yeah. I'm used to that being the R trigger, so X was a weird feel.
But I figured out on accident, and I don't know what I was doing. Um, I pressed forward on the right control stick, and that was also the gas. So you could literally, control the car with the left stick and use the right stick for the gas, which is it.
That's
It
news to
felt
me. I didn't know this.
it felt all sorts of wrong, but was I don't know. I feel like is a completely viable way of playing the game.
Whenever I switched over to the modded PC version, I immediately remapped my controller to something a bit more workable for me. Just because I did not like the original control mapping, but it's of its time too, because they didn't um, have the modern control scheme that we have now. It's like playing an old first-person shooter game. They didn't have the standard dual stick controls that we have now.
Mhm. Right.
They hadn't quite
Yeah.
figured that one out yet.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't really check the controls or anything like that in the game. I wasn't gonna mess with it, and yeah, I figured I just raw dog it. This is what they set up by default. That's how I'm gonna play it. And none of it really felt weird outside of again just pressing a face button for gas, which is very of its time. I mean, a lot of race games were using face buttons for the gas, so um,
Yeah, like if you're playing like Mario Kart or something like that, of course you're using the face button too. That makes
right.
sense. But for a more modern title, it feels really weird for me not to have that analog control on one of the shoulder buttons for gas.
I want to go real quick, go back and talk about the visuals of the game because we talked about how ugly the cutscenes are. Um, and obviously you kind of modified your game a little bit. Uh, but the original PS2 game, even with the upscaling that my PS2 can do now, the in-game graphics are annoying because there's like this weird like it has this constant motion blur going on no matter what you're doing, and it
I hate
almost
it. It's bad.
right. And it almost seems like a lot of like the visuals in the foreground, it's not so much in the background, but a lot of like the foreground and the middle ground almost seems to have like an after image
And
because like the blurring is up so high.
I don't remember that on the 360 version unless I was like boosting with NOS or something. Then I get it, but I don't remember it being there all the time on the 360. But it was there constantly on the PS2 version to the point to where I restarted this game on PC. I'm like, I can't do it.
At first I thought it had something to do with my upscaler settings. So like I went in and turned all that stuff off and then went back into the game, and it is just the game. Like that's just, and then I even went online to kind of see comparison shots, and like sure enough, that's just what the game looks like. And I'm like, this is intolerable. And you can't turn it off. You can't go into the options and turn off blurring or anything like you could with a lot of games around this era. That you always had the
And
option to turn off motion blurring.
I don't know if it was like, so I don't remember this for the 360 version at all. And I don't know if it's because maybe I was playing on the CRT at the time, whenever I was younger, instead of a flat screen LCD, which the CRT does have a significantly lower resolution. Maybe that's why I didn't notice it. Or if it's not in the 360 version. But dear God, emulating the PS2 version, that was annoying.
Yeah, it's like sometimes the game looks nice, but it's very infrequent. Like most of the
It,
time, it's just like, man, there's no getting used to it. It looks bad almost all the time.
if it's
Like it's
standing still, it has its moments.
yes, yes. And then there's no reprieve. Like when you get a cutscene, you're like, oh, great, a cutscene. And then you're just like, no, these look awful too. Like this all
Mm,
looks bad.
which is a shame because I do like, to a limited extent, for a limited time, as I keep saying, the gameplay loop. It's not too bad. It does eventually get monotonous. But if you're like first starting the game, let's say your blacklist was like 10 people even instead of 15, I feel like that would be a better length for this game.
I don't think the length of the blacklist has anything to do with it. I think it's the requirements that you have to meet to actually do the races that needs to
That
be
didn't
cut
help.
down.
Yeah, that didn't help.
Like there's just so
I
much
just know
fucking
that like
padding.
15 people, after I get through 7 or 8, and I'm only halfway through, I'm just feeling like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, you got further than I did. I got down to like the eighth or seventh or something like that. I think it was the eighth one. And yeah, I'm like I can't. Like I said, I thought I would make some progress yesterday. Totally didn't. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm ever gonna play this game again. I will say, like, I don't know if you want to like start wrapping anything up yet. I don't know if I want to. If you have anything other questions or whatever, but like, I don't hate this game. I'll say that.
It's of its time. Like I have memories of really getting into this game, and whenever I first reloaded it up, that first hour or two I played it, I did really like it.
Mhm,
It's just that it couldn't hold that for me,
mhm.
which is funny because if you go look at reviews on YouTube, glowing reviews of this game, but a lot of them are steeped in nostalgia, says the guy that hosts a retro gaming podcast. But
Don't worry, I have the same problem. It's fine.
yeah, a lot of their memories were definitely steeped in nostalgia. I feel like if they actually sat down and replayed it, I'm not sure they would be scoring that as high. But like even back in the day, it scored really high. Review scores: A minus, 8.5 out of 10; B plus, 8.4; 4 stars out of 5. Like it did really well back then.
I mean, this was right after Underground, and I remember Underground being a big deal because it was like the first Need for Speed game in like years that was like people actually loved. And I think for Most Wanted, they kind of did what Underground was doing, but like expanded it a little bit more. Um, and so like a lot of the setbacks of Underground were fixed in Most Wanted, and so then I think it just naturally Most Wanted just gained the momentum that that EA wanted for the series. And then I think Underground 2 came out after this and wasn't received as well as the first Underground and Most Wanted, because it just kind of seemed similar, which
Right. It got
is
looped in with the rest of them.
kind of what happened because I think I want to say from like 1998 until like 2018, so 20 years straight, EA was making at least 1 to 2 Need for Speed games a year. So
God, it's
I think by
crazy.
I think by Underground 2, people were like, what's going on here? And then yeah, so I think that's
But
also one of the reasons why I never could get interested in the Need for Speed games because there always seemed to be so many after like 3 years. It's like, wait, they put out 7 already? Like, where the fuck
hmm
have I been? Like,
well,
it's
I
only
I
been two
hopped off
years.
I hopped off with the sequel for this one, which is thanks. I really did get into this one. I got into this one enough to where I bought Carbon whenever it came out, which is the
Hmm.
one that came out after this, and I didn't get into Carbon at all. I was sort of like,
Hmm.
that was pretty well it for me for Need for Speed for quite a while.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm in love with this franchise or anything like that. And I think this game is fine, definitely flawed. It was tough to kind of jump into and kind of get used to the controls and all of the systems that it's kind of throwing at you. But once you finally get into the swing of things, once you finally start gaining momentum and figuring out exactly what the game wants you to do, which, you know, on the surface it's not asking a lot of you. Um, it is a lot of fun to play until it's not.
Yeah, like
So,
if you come across it for $5 or $10 somewhere, I would pick it up, even if it's the PS2 version. There are a few different versions. There's like a black edition, I guess, has more cars in it.
mm,
It's definitely worth going on YouTube and watching the cutscenes. That's definitely worth your time.
one of the fun things about um, what is the game? Hot Pursuit was the cheat codes. Hot Pursuit had some incredible cheat codes, like not only unlocking like these supercars that you couldn't get in the game any other way except for just knowing these random cheat codes, but also you could like make the cars fly. They could be heavy as hell, so you could basically run anything off the road, and like the game would just have like these really weird physics. You remember when cheat codes were fun?
Yeah,
Um,
I remember when there were cheat codes and not pay for cheats.
right. Um, Surprised that this game doesn't have anything like that. Because I definitely checked it out because I was like, well, this is still like in the era where like developers were kind of having fun with the games that they were making. Um, and it was nothing. I mean, there were some cars that you could unlock. And I tried entering the cheats. I couldn't get any of them to work, so I don't know what was going on. But
Yeah, I didn't really mess with them. I looked up what cheats were out there, and there's like apparently a Burger King challenge you can unlock, which
Mhm.
that's weird to walk a sponsored thing behind a cheat code, but sure.
I'm sure you
Unlocking
only got the.
extra.
I'm sure that was
Go
something
ahead.
you only unlocked if you ordered a double Whopper or something, and they gave you the code like in the wrapper.
That would be so weird, though, for Burger King to pay out all that money for a sponsorship only for them to lock it behind a Whopper paywall.
I mean, they made their own video game. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I
They're
totally
all right.
rather
They're
play
doing
this
okay.
than Sneak King. Although I would say maybe some of the aesthetics of Sneak King in this game, there may be some similarities. The cutscenes are cringe, just like the Sneak King game is. There's a game we need to come together and review at some point.
I've never played it. Never.
I
I'm
will get
willing.
you a copy.
the The flesh is willing.
Game was so good, but yeah, I will get ready to wrap it up, especially since admitting to everyone listening, I was late coming on for this because my body just decided not to wake up on
Sleepyhead.
time. I'm old and lazy and want my bed. Or maybe it's because my wife promised snoo snoo and then it didn't happen.
Oh, hey, whoa.
So lonely. But yeah, final thoughts on this one is it's enjoyable for a limited time is what I keep coming back to. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways it earns its reputation. It does have its moments. Like the cop chases are great. Um, that corny atmosphere that it has is just it's fan it's it's
It's
real
something.
good. It's real good. But yeah, I think it really asks a lot of you when it comes to the repetition and stuff like that. Like um yeah, it's incredibly repetitious and
What's
it
word
gets pretty old pretty fast.
word Keaton would say it's a cromulent game. Am
Yes.
I
Ooh,
using
that
that
is
right?
I I don't think so, but it sounds good.
I know words. Might not use them right, but I know them. All
But
right.
yeah, I was
On
just
that
gonna say
note,
we keep doing it.
I was gonna
let's
shut up, buddy. You go ahead.
let's fight. Uh, no, I was good. I was just gonna say that I appreciate you let me play this game and having me come on and talk about it. I was excited to play a Need for Speed game. It's a franchise that I'm not familiar with. I have a lot of love for the game that I did play as a kid, so yeah, I was excited to play this. So thanks.
Once I saw the cutscenes, I'm here like, yep, Keith would like this one.
Hmm.
Speaking of, go ahead and tell everyone where you're from, what you do, where you can be found at.
Sure, I host the Retro Gaming Podcast, the Main Quest Podcast. Very similar style of content over there as you get right here on Afterglow. I am running down the list of games that I've played as a child. I am reevaluating them now. I am most of the time joined by a guest, but not all the time. And yeah, you can pretty much get the Main Quest wherever you listen to podcasts. I'd love to have you guys.
Yep, and there is a link in the link tree for Main Quest if you guys want to go check out his stuff. He's got a big backlog, all kinds of good stuff in there. So be sure to check out Main Quest. It's definitely worth your time. Probably more
If you
worth
want
your
to,
time than listening to this show.
well, if you want a place to start, you were on for Vector Man a couple years
Hmm.
back, and then I had you back for Bart's Nightmare.
Yep. And I felt horrible whenever Final Fight was a solo show because I'm like, damn, I would have signed up for that one.
That would have been probably a more interesting discussion had I known some things that came to light after I recorded it. So, um, yeah, but I don't think anybody has Final Fight 2, so you better jump on that.
Yeah, just pencil me in for Final Fight 2. That's fine. I played that one too. I
Uh,
only signed up for a few because I didn't want to like be greedy and take up a ton of spots. But if you've got open holes, get with me because I'm more than happy to jump in whenever.
I'll just plug you right into those open holes.
That's right. That's what I'm good at, by God. Just be careful because it won't be real deep.
Oh
I'm
shit.
going off the rails tonight. I obviously did not get enough sleep.
This ended so earnestly and professionally, and now it's gone. It's done.
Professionally. You know it's not happening on this show. Go listen to Keith and Main Quest podcast. He knows what he's doing. I don't. On that note, we're going to go ahead and kill it. Good night, everybody.
Deuces.
And as always, thank you for checking out another episode of Afterglow. Quick outro this one. If you go to www.linktr.ee/Lethco, that's Leathco, you can also find that link in the show notes, but there you will find everything Afterglow there. There's a shop if you want to buy some merch. There's links to where to listen. There's a link to the Discord. There's a link to the Patreon, which we talked about in the very beginning of the episode. YouTube, and many friends of the show. All of them, well, not all of them, most of them are going to run a little bit of an ad after I wrap up this outro. But I just want to thank you all for taking time out of your day to listen, and if you're looking for more podcast stuff, be sure to check out that link tree. Lots of friends of the show to watch and listen to, and there's a few ways in there to support the show. If you don't want to support the show in that way, of course, all you gotta do, leave a rating, leave a star review. Like, even that helps out so much. Leaving any kind of comment or feedback, it really does help. And I, as always, appreciate you taking time out of your day to listen. And here's some more friends of the show to check out.
For more than 15 years, Retro Gaming Roundup has been the centre of your retro gaming universe, with top 10s, interviews, game reviews, news, and much more from all over the globe. Be sure to tune in every month for a new dose of Retro Gaming Roundup. That's RetroGamingRoundup.com.
Hey, this is Toby, one half of the Secret Levels podcast. We're a podcast that goes over old retro games. We go over the history, the story, the gameplay, some fun facts. We even rage a little bit. And then we go and give it a nice 1 to 10 rating to let you know if it's still worth playing. We have over 200 reviews for games on the NES, the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and many other consoles. You can find us on all the major podcasting apps, such as Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and you can follow us on social media at Secret Levels Pod. Game over, folks.
Hello and welcome to the Reviews Brothers. It's me, Martin, and you can join me on YouTube where I have hundreds of videos covering a huge range of video game topics. I've got top 10s, hidden gems, console-focused A to Zs, as well as dedicated videos to topics like Doom mods, 3D platform games, ninja games, pirate games, and more. I cover all systems from Commodore 64 right up to modern consoles. Nothing gaming is off the table. So be sure to search for the Reviews Brothers on YouTube, as well as on Instagram and TikTok for hundreds of retro and modern video game reviews.
Afterglow listeners, it's me, Keith Gasper, coming at you from the #1 retro gaming podcast, the Main Quest Podcast. Come hang out as a guest and I play and discuss a game from the backlog of my childhood. We're talking about our history and the history of the game, and if it's worth checking out today. We're talking about games from the NES, the Sega Genesis, TurboGrafx, Game Boy, and much more. And that's just on the main feed. If you enjoy what you're hearing on Afterglow, you're going to enjoy the Main Quest, and I'm happy to have you. Find the Main Quest on Apple Podcasts, Good Pods, Spotify, and wherever great podcasts are downloaded.
Hello, my name is Aaron. I'm one half of Super Pod Saga, a topical variety video game podcast fueled entirely by nostalgia and unleaded gasoline. Super Pod Saga, we discuss a different video game topic each and every week. We have new episodes every single Monday covering a different video game topic. More than anything, we want to entertain our listeners and make you feel like you're one of the boys, like you're hanging out at a campfire with some of your best zany, caffeine-powered buddies and just talking about your favorite games and all that stuff. Stop on down to Super Pod Saga. It's on every podcatcher there is. If it's not, let me know and we'll get on it. But again, Super Pod Saga, stop on by.